Hi Year 2s, here we go again. Today we're going to be learning about grammar and punctuation, verbs, commas in lists and commas in direct speech. So a verb is essential in every clause or sentence. Verbs tell what's going on with the nouns. Nouns are names. Verbs can be a single word or a group of words. So examples might be ran, was running, won't run. Okay, so they can be doing verbs. So there are different kinds of verbs, one of them being doing verbs. Doing verbs are the action words. They are action verbs. These verbs tell what actions happen, are happening, or have happened. So example, swim for swimming. Or swam. You might have jump, jumping, or jumped. Eat, eating, or ate. They all could be doing verbs, the action verbs. Another kind might be being or having verbs, and these are the verbs that tell that something just exists. They also tell that something belongs to or relates to or something else. So for examples are is, are, were, has, have, belong, or became. Okay, so being verbs, they might be a sentence, might be I am Ali, you are my friend, the being verb there being are, they were out, were being the being verbs, it is cold, is being the verb, it was cold yesterday, was being the verb there. Having verbs sentences. Whales have blowholes. Have is the having verb there. Harry had a cold last week. Had being the having verb there. And then we have our verbs that are thinking verbs. And thinking verbs are the verbs that tell what goes on in the mind. You can't see these verbs taking place in the same way that you can see the doing verbs take place. So for example, we might have believe, like, hate, love, want, wanted, hope or hoped, or am hoping, and was thinking. Then we have a saying verbs, so they tell how something is being said. So for example, might be said John, yelled the coach, giggled Tamara, whispered Sebastian. croaked the frog, cried the sad child. And then we have verbs are often used at the start of commands. So for example, clean your feet. So clean being the verb here. Eat your peas. Eat being the verb. Stir the soup. Stir being the verb. Stop. Stop being the verb here. And verbs also have tense as well. So they can be from the past or something that is happening now or in the future. So something that's already happened, which is past tense, is happening now, present tense, or will happen in the future, which is future tense. Sometimes helper verbs are needed to show tense. So will, can, has, have, had, do, does, did. Past tense can be I ran to school. Present tense, I am running to school. And in the future, I will run to school. Okay, so we just need to make sure that when we are writing, we need to make sure we're using the right tense as well. If we're talking about something that is going to happen tomorrow, then we do not want to write like it has already happened before. Okay, unless it has happened before. But if it has yet to have happened, we do not talk about it in the past tense. Okay, makes sense. Okay, now we're going to move on to commas. Commas are used to separate items in a list. So examples might be add the chopped carrots, potatoes, pumpkin, parsnips, and turnip. So you don't need to add a comma before the very last. So two objects in the list. So for between parsnip and turnips, because both of them are the last two objects in the list, we do not need to have a comma that would go there. We do not need that. So the last two things in the list is normally separated by an and we do not use a comma right there. Okay, commas are also used before and after direct speech as well. So, for example, I love peas, comma, said Joe. Luca said let's eat peas. Okay. So that's commas and verbs that we use in our grammar and punctuation.